All right, let's get this series finished. In this last video, we're going to fix up a couple of things we missed in the last one in relation to components, and then we're going to cover the rest of the upgrade guide and we will be done. Now, first thing I missed is if we come over here to get started and we click on the chat icon and then I just say something, notice the strong tags here. So we need to make sure that that content is not being sanitized. Let's open it up. And I believe it's under bot, create bot dialog button. And it's probably this component here. Yep, this is the one. So now we can say here, name-html. So if we're using the name prop, I want it to be pure HTML. Save that. And there we go. It's working now. And the other thing we didn't cover is related to the horizontal page. So I want to be able to click on this last button and then be scrolled to the end of this div here. So let's fill in the dummy data by going get started, Control M, and then I'll come back to this page. And yeah, if I click on last, that is currently not working and we're getting an error. That's a really easy fix. So if I go to horizontal to do, there we go, the horizontal to-dos page. And it's this function here where we scroll to the end. The API for set scroll position has changed slightly. Since it can be horizontal or vertical, we need to specify whether it's going to be horizontal or vertical. In this case, it is horizontal. So we simply type in the word horizontal. There we go. If I click on last, it now works. Cool. So that's those fixes done. Now we can go to the rest of the upgrade guide. The go back directive has been removed. So now if we search for find in folder, go-back, here we go. We can see that I'm using that here. And that was causing me errors. So we created a to-do to say that we need to fix this. And it's easy to do. Let me just close that out. Oh, really, I should fix it before getting rid of that. So let's uncomment this. And now let's come down here. And where it says go back, we will get rid of that. And we will change it to @click is equal to grab router and then say go -1 from where we're currently at. So I'm going to save that and let's come back here, refresh the page. And now we've got this home button and clicking on that takes me back one route. So let's just kind of mess around a bit, go to that page and then back again. And it looks like that's working. Cool, moving on. That pesky loading plugin is the next thing we need to fix up. Index.view. Yeah, here we go. Quasar plugins, the loading plugin. Now we need to say if we're using HTML. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we go back to the home page here, and I need to re-enable that loading plugin because we disabled it because it was so annoying. Yeah, notice that this is not HTML. It's all been sanitized. So what we can do is simply say HTML is equal to true there, save it, and now the HTML is actually passed properly. Moving on. So scrolling down here, the dialog plugin. And this one is related to props. So let me just open it up on my computer here. We might actually do a search for this. So how about we're using the plugin, so it would have to be $q.dialog. There we go. That's where I'm actually using it. And this is on the home page, and it's this about this app button. There we go. So this is the dialog that's being opened. Now, the change here is that if you want to have props, so these two are props on the dialog component. If you want to use props, they now have to sit within their own object called component props. So let's add a comma there, move this in there, save it, and let's see if that works now. And it does. So now that circle effect is actually taking place. And we're getting the message being passed through as well. This app has won multiple awards, including Worst App of the Year and the prestigious Most Use of Components in a Nonsensical Way award. Oh, and in order to explain this next thing, I'm going to need to use the old version of the app. So let's cd into Quasar-upgrade and original. Open that in Visual Studio Code, pull us out of full screen, and throw that onto the right, and then run this application. So the problem here is related to parent this. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So if we jump into home and then we go to about this app, by the way, I'm now on the old version of the application, open up the console. If I click on show Vuex store, it shows up, okay? So the way that is happening, let's just jump into the component about this app dialog component. It's saying this $$ store in order to open up the store, and that's why it's being console.log there. However, we had to say parent this in order to get that to work. So basically, we had to specify the parent component. If I get rid of that now, save it, refresh the page, let's try running that again. About this app, show Vuex store, now it shows undefined. That's why I had to say parent this. However, in the new version of the app, we actually don't have to do that anymore. So let me get rid of this line of code, save it, come back to the later version, and notice that we're still able to show the Vuex store. So that's just a little minor one. And you can read the docs to get a better understanding of that, but I don't think it's important for the scope of this video. Right, what's next? Scrolling down, this is just talking about emit, so we've already fixed all of that. The meta plugin. So if I go to index.view, we're using the meta plugin here, and basically I'm trying to add these meta fields. Everything is better when you add a little meta. I'm trying to add that onto the page. Let's get rid of the old application. Don't need that anymore. All right, so let's go Control-Shift-I. Oh, I've already got it opened up. Elements, and jump into the head. And it looks like that meta is not actually being shown. And the reason is that we need to change the way that the meta plugin is used. So let's just do some copy pasting here. Copy that. This is where we import use meta from Quasar. And we're not using the composition API right now, so we're going to move down to this part here. Oh, we actually want to copy that one instead. And there we go. And so if we go to mixins, we send through an array, and then we can say create meta mixin. So I'm going to copy that and just paste it directly in there. The next thing I need to do is now grab all of this meta-related stuff. So I'm going to cut that, remove this, and then just paste it straight in there and save it. So let's come back now and jump into the head. It's not showing up. I might have to refresh the page. And let's have a look at the head and see if it shows up now. What's going on here? Go back into the head. Ah, okay, the meta is actually just showing at the bottom there. So there we go. Those two meta fields are now showing up. That's just a quick way to fix using meta for Vue 3. All right, moving right along. Quasar utilities. Now, in the date utility, year has been changed to years and month has been changed to months. However, this doesn't seem to be working for me. So if we come back to the app, notice that it says next month is April. And there we go. I'm using month, not plural, whereas if I make it plural, it no longer works. So my guess is, and I recently put in a GitHub issue for this, is that something has gone wrong, and so we have to use the singular version rather than the plural version at the moment. Let's just try it with years to see if that works. All right, so it seems to be implemented with years, but not with months. So that's just something to watch out for. I'm sure by the time you've watched this video, it's probably already been fixed. So anyway, moving on. We've got some scrolling utilities here that have been renamed. Let's just see if I'm using any of them. I don't think I am, though. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, that's not using the scroll utility. Neither is that. And looks like that isn't either. So let's have a look at this one. And let's have a look at this one. Aha, here we go. So we're actually using the scrolling utility here. And it looks like that's in the chatbot. So let's open up the chatbot. Okay. So I need to change the name of the function here. It's supposed to scroll straight to the bottom so that I'm not constantly at the top of this scroll area. That should be an easy one to fix. Set scroll position is now set vertical scroll position. So let's change that to set vertical scroll position. All right, so coming down here, let's see if that's all I have to do. Set scroll, here we go. Save that. Let's refresh the page and see if it works now. Nice, it's working. All right, so that is the scroll utility, just making sure that you check through all of those to see if you're using them and then convert them to the new names. Next, color utilities. So if I come up here and I change the color of the website, notice that it is not working. And that's because of set brand has now been changed to get CSS var and set CSS var. All right, so let's have a look at where I'm using this. Set brand. And there it is there. Let me just check if I'm using get brand as well. And I'm not. So this is the only place we need to update it. Let's come in here. And instead of set brand, I can now just say get set CSS var. We don't need that. All right, and let's see where I'm using it. And there it is there. And I think that's all I have to do. Oh, doesn't like that. What have I done wrong? Oh, I was trying to pull colors out of there. Get rid of that. And there we go. Let's refresh the page. And now we can change the theme. So cool. All right, moving on. Quasar language pack related stuff. So my guess is if we go to the language page, everything is just going to blow up. Yep. All right, so most of these changes are basically saying when you have this dash here, the part after the dash needs to be all capitals. I think we covered part of this in the past, but we didn't cover all of it. Now, throughout my application, I think I'm only using dash, en-us and en-au. So let's search for all of those occurrences. en-us. All right, so this one's lowercase. I need to change that to uppercase. This one is lowercase. Change it to uppercase. And even the files themselves. Oh, sorry, the folders themselves. All right, where else? In fact, let's change this so that it is case sensitive. US here, that becomes capital US, AU. Moving right along. I mean, honestly, I probably could have just done a find and replace here. However, you do need to be careful doing find and replace. You need to be pretty confident before you run a command like that, or make sure you're doing lots of commits. Now, since I changed some folder names in the process of doing that, we're getting some errors now, which is good. That's going to tell us what to do. So /en-au, and there it is here, en-au. The AU part now needs to be capitalized. And same with US. Rename that. And it looks like those errors are all gone. Let's refresh the page and see if it's actually fixed. Nope, we still got some errors. All right, so this is on the language page. Language page. Oh, I'm already on it. And apparently lang options under 5. Ah, okay, so we're using the composition API, and I'm being naughty here. I was saying this.lang options. I can't do that. What I need to do is say let lang options is equal to a reference, and let's just set that to an empty object to begin with. And that means we'll now have to import ref from view. All right, save that. And now I need to actually expose this. So now we can say return and expose it like that. Let's try refreshing this page and see where we're at now. Yeah, there we go. Woo! Now we can change it, and everything is working. Ah, tremendous. Okay, cool. All of the language stuff seems to be fixed. Moving right along. All right, so Quasar CSS. The color CSS variable name has been changed. Oh, I know what this is related to. So if I open up the menu here, notice that I have languages selected in the left menu. That actually should be a different color. If you open up the original, I won't do it right now, but that should be set to the secondary color, but it's not working. And that's related to this breaking change here. So instead of --q color secondary, let's go ahead and find that. When I'm using that CSS variable, I now need to remove color from there. It's just Q dash secondary. Let's save that. And I'll quickly do a search for this one as well, but I'm pretty sure I'm not using it. No, I'm not. All right, so now if we go to the menu, we get that proper color now. The secondary color is showing up to let us know that it's been selected. Cool. Moving on. UMD, we're going to ignore that because, like I said at the start of this series, we're just focusing on Quasar CLI. You can go ahead and read this if it makes sense for you. And the last thing we need to do to finish the entire upgrade is change the way we set global properties. So a lot of this stuff we've already covered. And also, actually, let's have a look at the import strategy part. Import. Yeah, so import strategy is already set to auto. However, we can't use all anymore. That's been completely deprecated because auto works so well and it's so fast, it just doesn't make sense to even have the all option anymore, which is awesome. So I'm just going to get rid of that comment there, just in case somebody accidentally changes it to all when it has to be auto. In fact, I can probably just remove that as well. And maybe change this to import strategy must be auto. Get rid of the exclamation marks. Sometimes I get a little bit excited in my comments and I got to keep it simple. Like you'll often see me writing stuff like, how cool is this in my comments? And I need to stop myself from doing it now. Okay, anyway, on to the very last change. The way that we set global properties on the Quasar object has now changed. So when you're changing Quasar configuration in boot files, which is where you'll usually do it, it's going to be slightly different. And this is the example I have for that. Notice that we have a plus button for our fab icon button. Now let's go to don't page and let's find that button. I believe it is create dash to don't, and it's this one here. So in order to get that icon, I'm diving into the Quasar global object, jumping into icon set, fab, and then icon. Okay, so basically this is a default icon for a fab icon. By the way, fab stands for floating action button, okay, because it's floating and it's an action button. So getting to the point now. If I come here into my boot files, app defaults, this is where I'm setting that value. All right, and notice that I'm changing it to the note icon, but that's not working. It's still showing up as the plus icon. So back to the guide. Notice that this is the new way that we change global properties. So I'm going to copy that and then paste it in here, just so I've got it as a reference. And notice we're pulling through app now instead of view. So instead of view.prototype.$Q, we say app.config.globalproperties.$Q. It's a little bit more of a mouthful, but I'm sure they've got a legitimate reason to do that. So let's close that out, get rid of that line of code, come back, refresh the page. Oh, actually, I don't think we're using this boot file. I think we disabled it at the start of the series. So let's look for the word boot. Yeah, there we go. So let's uncomment that, put that comma in there, back again, and there we go. Now our default fab icon button is the note icon. Super handy to know because there's a very good chance that you're going to be changing global properties. You might even want to do something like this. Come over here and just copy that little snippet of code there and go find in folder and then just paste it to find all of those occurrences. And you'd probably be safe to do a find and replace and just copy that and whack it in like that. Okay, cool. We are actually done. So let's come back into our app. I'm going to go into full screen now and let's see if everything works. All right, so if I go to home, all of that formatting's correct. About this app, we get that cool circle dialogue. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous, but it works. Get started horizontally. All right, let's come back to get started. Control M so that we get all those icons and go back here again. Looks like that's working. We can go to the we can click on last to go to the end of the page there. We can create a new entry. Don't eat your best friend's Doritos. And there we go. That works as well. Let's go to languages. We can change the language. And that all seems to work. And if we go back to the home, we can actually see that behind the scenes. Oh, one sec. Next month is. All right. Looks like I didn't fix that properly. Index.view. I have to change that back to singular. But remember that it should be plural. And by the time you do the upgrade, it probably will be plural, and that will be fixed. All right. So April. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, let's come up here and change the language, and that's working. Let's change the color of the app, and that works. Get started. We can delete things. We can change the names of things. We can go into this different mode of viewing in the table mode. We can use the chatbot to create stuff, create to don't. Oh, by the way, it says tell Shannon I love her. That's because this used to be a to-do list app, and I love my girlfriend. And so that was meant to be a thing that I'm supposed to do, not something that I'm supposed to not do, which is kind of a massive blunder. So I hope she doesn't end up watching this video. Anyway, spend your afternoons watching TV. And there we go. Scroll to the bottom, and that's been created. And we've got this little cross button that works on there. I think that this is working. Everything is done. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I have learned so much upgrading this application, and I hope you have too, especially about a few of the nuances with View 3. And I'm super excited now to explore the composition API a little bit deeper and to learn a little bit more about View 3 myself, and I hope that you're excited too as well. I honestly can't wait to see some of the stuff that you build using the new version of Quasar. Send it to me on Twitter, let us all know in the Discord channel, and I'll see you in a later video. Thanks for watching.